When you know, speaking about like clothing or anything actually, I mean, is pretty much the advice for India the advice for a woman in Pakistan? I mean, do they more or less the same in terms of the differences that it would make for a woman, you know, in terms of clothing or behavior or anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah. And I think another thing that as a woman traveller you definitely experience that may be uncomfortable is the whole selfie thing. You know, for us in Lahore Fort, and then when we went to Islamabad, we went to the Faisal Mosque on a Friday. So obviously it was prayer time, so it was extremely busy. And we had a lot of selfies, which was fine because we were together and I was happy, and they were group selfies and it was okay. But like for me, for example, when I travel India by myself, I very much tend to say no to selfies these days, unless it's with a group of women or sometimes they're young girls and you can tell they just really, really want a photo. So I will say yes then, because it's a nice thing to do. But when it's a group of guys, I just say like no, because I know one selfie leads to 2 and then 3 and then it's 10 and then it's a lot. So I would say, yeah, even that kind of advice that I would say for India to be a solo female is exactly the same in Pakistan. You know, people are very intrigued, but, you know, I think it's something that can make us feel very overwhelmed, even when people are, you know, it's nothing malicious at all, but it is just something about it that just feels very overwhelming when you kind of have cameras put in your face and a lot of people all of a sudden around you. You kind of look up and you're like, wow, I'm the center of attention and I didn't quite realize. So that's something that I would say applies to both. And yeah, the same dress, and I think the same in terms of, yeah, probably just the same. You know, people in Pakistan very much like WhatsApp, just like they do in India as well. And so I'm always very conscious if someone says, you know, they've got WhatsApp, if they're a taxi driver, things like that. I always say, you know, let me take your WhatsApp number, don't take mine. And again, it's going to be nothing malicious, but you may just get some unwanted messages coming that you don't, you know, it's just a little bit annoying. So I always say, like, take their number, because actually they could be a good contact and usually are, definitely. But yeah, very much similar travel advice.
And I guess annoying messages because you're a woman, or is my question, you know, I'm just imagining that, would you get like weird, you know, like creepy messages or that kind of thing? Or is it just, you would get weird, you know, messages that you don't want?
I think, yeah, just kind of like a hi dear, how are you message, which is very common from Indian and people. I mean, and again, just not these countries, very much all around the world anyway. So yeah, I don't think it would get anything too kind of like inappropriate or too creepy. It's just not what you want. And often when you're in that position, or even like me, we're having social media, you know, often you have so many messages coming from people that, you know, you can't kind of be friendly to people all the time anyway, even though that sounds really bad.